Welcome back. All right, on this Women's Day, we ask, how hard is it for a woman to balance a career and a partner and being a parent, especially when you work in one city and your family is in another? Well, Christelle Colman is the CEO of Europ Assistance South Africa. She joins us now in the Newsday studio. I mean, Christelle, it's all about that age-old question, can women have it all?
Well, I don't believe we can, and that's the point of the opinion piece I wrote, because I feel in today's society, in the time that we live where everything is amplified on social media, perceptions are created that we can have it all and that it's all perfect. But the reality is, if you want to have that high-flying career, if you want to have the family, if you want to stay fit, if you want to be a good wife, you will have to sacrifice certain things. And I think if we create realistic expectations around that, women would be more attracted to actually going for maybe for the careers that they give up at times.
So you just mentioned this opinion piece. I mean, what led you to write it, and is it something that you often do?
Well, I actually haven't ever really, I mean, I write a lot about leadership and you know, like we do in business, but this specific opinion piece, I just came back from a trip to Budapest. I was there for 2 nights on work. I came back, I had, you know, I was so tired. My son had to have an English oral done for the next day. I was on my way back to Joburg and I felt completely overwhelmed, and I thought I just need to get this out on paper, because it's so easy to create the perfect perception and the perfect life, but in reality it takes, and this is really why I wanted to write it, because I want my daughter to understand that if she wants to go for a career, she will have to make certain sacrifices in order to get there. It doesn't just come like that by itself. We have to work hard. And something else that I'm quite passionate about is creating the right environment for women to thrive in. I remember when I had my children, how difficult it was for me to stay awake. You know, our babies don't sleep. If we have normal ones for two years, maybe they don't sleep properly. You have to go back after 4 months. You have to keep on going and going. And often I find that very talented women bow out of their careers because they simply can't keep all the balls in the air. So as employers, and especially as women in leadership, it's very important that we create workspaces where mothers can get through their childbearing years and then stay with us and come back and become, you know, senior leaders in the organization.
I mean, you talk about this pressure that women face, especially in the social media environment. You've got perfect pictures of perfect families on Instagram and on Facebook all the time. I mean, that certainly adds to the pressure women are under.
It adds to the guilt, because we tend to, you know, amplify our perfect moments, and we don't see the sad moments. And for me, normally it's on a Sunday evening, because Monday morning I have to go back to Joburg and I won't see my children for the week. And that's a sacrifice that I made knowingly. You know, I obviously accepted the position. But, you know, that's the point that I'm trying to make, is in life everything is about a balance. And if you have the really great opportunities, with that come really great sacrifices as well. But we have to teach our daughters that, you know, roles are different in today's time. If we want to change the way we see boys and girls in society, we have to make sure that we as parents get that message across. So it's really important to teach your children that it's okay if mom is the one working away from home and dad is the one who's actually not the one traveling.
So we're talking about women having it all. I mean, for me, I think, is it not... it might be different for you what it means, having it all, compared to another woman. It might be something completely different that might not perhaps include a career in a different city.
Well, you know, the ultimate leadership role in society is being a mother, if you think about it. We lead our children out into the life. So the ultimate job to have is being a stay-at-home mom. I think that's the most admirable role that there can be. So I absolutely often envy women who have the opportunity to stay at home. For me, maybe it wasn't a choice. It wasn't really a choice. I was so inspired to further my career that I made certain decisions that took me in a different direction. So I think it comes back to that. It's each to his own. You know, don't judge a working mom if she's not at school for all the school duties, but at the same time, working moms shouldn't judge the moms who decide to make those sacrifices. At the end of the day, it's about respecting each other, and it really is just making sure that we understand in today's time there are different roles for different individuals, and that it's just as good for a woman to be out working as it is for a man. And I think that's the message that I want to get across. Is
absolutely. So, I mean, we talked a little earlier just about companies helping women through the childbearing years. I mean, we only get 4 months of maternity leave, but there's a lot more that happens after that. What is your experience? Are companies more open to doing just that?
Well, so you know, as you know, it doesn't end at the 4 months when you go back to work. Actually, then it becomes a lot harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in my experience, if we can create opportunities for women to actually, so things like flexi time and flexi press, in the US it's quite well known, where you work in an extra number of hours during the week, and then you have every second Friday off or afternoon off to go and fetch your children from school. As a working mom, you know how precious that is to actually pick them up from school and take them home and maybe make them a lunch. And also to make sure that they have time to take them to the doctor, not that they have to feel guilty about asking to take them to the doctor or the dentist. And just by in my previous company, I actually had FlexiPress in place. And what that meant was women thought twice about leaving the organization, because that time is so precious for them that they can spend with their children. It doesn't translate into money. So even if you earn more money elsewhere, they decided to stay because they could take off every second Friday afternoon to spend with their children. It doesn't take anything away from the business either, because it means we still have the same number of hours that we pay our staff for, but we create an environment where they can actually nurture their children during these difficult years. So it's just about having a different mindset. We know in bigger organizations, having a creche at work. Can you imagine being able to, you know, your child's just downstairs and you can just go and check on them when they're not feeling well. Yeah. So we really need to get businesses in South Africa to think differently about having women in their employment. And not to say, it's a young woman, I can't employ her because she's going to have a baby, because that still happens. If we have an environment where we nurture those years, it's come and work for me, I'm going to look after you while you have your children, and then you stay with me for the career, and we grow you into a senior leader who can make a meaningful difference in business and in society at large as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Christelle Colman is the CEO of Europ Assistance South Africa. So much more to talk about, but we've run out of time. Thanks so much. All right, let's move on to other news now. United Democrats